In this day and age, we have to pay attention with how we consume the news. It can be very, very, very draining spiritually and emotionally. And letting us know what's out there is important, but we also need to find out what's right. My name's Nick Tabor. I'm a personal trainer, and I talk about this stuff because I've lived through it now. You have to excuse my I don't have enough energy right now. I'm feeling a little bit sick today, so we'll just roll through it. There we can. So we have all the human malware stuff that's going on right now, and you scroll on Facebook and see that there's a whole bunch of stuff, and you check a news site, there's something else, and then what doesn't help right now as well is that the comedy shows have the news as well. So there's really like no way to bloody escape any of this at this moment. Really, like we have got to be better. And like, here's what I do. So I go through, and if I want to find news, and I find some things, and just like I'll get up during the day. And it's part of my morning routine. I'll be doing push ups in the morning, and I'll just go through and see where it is, but just have a very time sensitive moments. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna give myself 5 minutes, check out what I can. Usually, I'll go to something like CNN, or I'll go to anything that's local. So Herald News, but I avoid Facebook. I avoid all the social media stuff for news. Reason being is the social media side of it is just like everybody's got their own opinion and spin to it, and I see people sending out articles here and there. And then what they're doing is they're sending it out, but it's maybe not fact checked. And of course, what's going to happen is people are sending out the news with their own personal bias and spin to it. So, for me personally, I'm not going to get political, but there's some people who are in office right now that I do not care for, and there's some people who I absolutely love. And I absolutely am more apt, and as anyone else is, we are more apt to send news stories based on things that we feel comfortable with. So, for instance, like you take minus political stuff, you got the oil prices are really down. So people on social media are sending out like, okay, well, why isn't gas really low? If oil is basically worthless at this point, then why don't we have free gas? Well, if you dig a little further on social media, it becomes everybody commenting, yeah, why don't we have gas? Why don't we have free gas? My gas is expensive. Blah, blah, blah. And, well, first thing on the gas side of it is you're buying the oil. People buy the oil from for the refineries, and they buy it at a future date price. So if they buy something in March, it means that they're set up for May and April, June, and so on and so on. Or it might be whatever the hell it is. That's why it isn't like crashed along with it. And oil is used for a bunch of different things as well. So the market is gonna come down. It's gonna come down months from now. Like we won't see this really true effect until months down the road, depending on where we have it. But I got that because I did other things and I found other resources. It's important for your mental health to see multiple sources because if we consume one source every single day or one source all the time, there's our tunnel vision. Like we are in this globe and we're just seeing it through rose colored glasses, just seeing the world like right here and everything is good or okay, this is that. Okay, but nobody challenges our opinion, and especially now where we're all staying home at this given moment, this is our problem. Like we have to be able to we created vacuums for ourselves and we have to be able to understand that there are multiple opinions, but ultimately there's multiple ways to look at a story. And we have to formulate our own opinion in the end, and of course, everybody's going to consume it differently regardless, but, you still have to be able to find multiple sources. That's the reason why. So, on our mental health side, how can we consume news better? Well, we've gone through a few, but let's go through a bit. Number one, what you want to do is you want to be able to find multiple sources that you want to find the news. As we said, you want to be able to grab, multiple. One source is just going to give you a very weird tunnel vision of the world. So we want you to be able to find multiple sources, at least, try to find something where people have differing opinions than you and listen to what they have to say. And there might be something different like the oil prices or, wherever else. Like people have locally around here opinions about oh geez, what was I reading this morning? Like, okay, I don't own anything. I don't own not really much. I mean, we rent, but a local tax went up, and we're like, yeah, okay, whatever. So it doesn't really mean anything. But obviously, for the homeowners who do this, they're like, okay, that's an extra $1,000 a year. Now, in the city where I live, personally, a lot of people have lost their jobs, and the main source of income is just not there. So an extra grand coming out of your pocket right away, yeah, that's going to incite some problems, and that makes a lot of sense why you're angry with it, and it's certainly ultimately say, oh, not my battle, not my fight, and the people who are the owners are going to have to voice their concerns about that. I don't really have friends that own houses too much, so that's got to be here. So if I didn't bother looking at multiple sources, then we see. Second thing you want to do, make it routine. And, so I look at everything in the morning and limit it. So you look at news stories just so you see what's going on, if there's any new policies, for example, with the human malware going on right now. Is there a new policy that we need to follow, or is there something else we need to worry about, or did the cases go up, cases go down? And this comes from the time of 9/11. Like, a lot of you watching might not remember this, but I certainly do. 2001 and well into 2002, after 9/11 happened, everybody's glued to the TV, everybody's consuming news, and the internet was not what it is now. I mean, it wasn't consumed in our pockets, on our handheld devices, like it was then, and everybody who was near a computer, okay, what's happening, it was the beginning of the big boom of media, 24-hour circle of news, because everybody's just watching it, and you're watching that again and again and again and again and again. What happens is you lose the day. Like, no one really remembers what I sure as hell don't. I mean, that was Christ, 19 years ago now, just about, so all that time has passed, and we're like, what do we do? I remember I watched the news, but I can't tell you what went on during that time, and, what we talked about was that, and that blacked out the time. We still got to live our life. We still got to have things we need to do, so limit your time and just say, hey, I've got 10 minutes, okay, I'll check what's going on, nothing new, okay, then move on and do something else. Number 3, I already said it, remember to live your life. Now's the time to do puzzles, now's the time to explore those talents, now's the time to have some fun in-house as much as you can. Watch that show that you haven't seen in a long time, explore the hidden talents and find other things. Just maybe we can get out of this alive. Just maybe we can be new people. We could be new and great. All right. So that's that for now. All right. So if you like this, please go ahead, rate it. We have another video right here to my left shoulder. Go ahead, check it out. I'll see you in the next video. See you there. All right, as always, we climb.